Small fragment of the lightning bolt. This small power will protect you and your village. The boy lifts the fragment with joy as the storms in his village disappear. And so, the boy who dared to defy the gods became immortalized in legend. Legend has it, one day Zeus's lightning bolt went missing. A young boy enters an ancient Greek temple. "I must find this lightning bolt. It's the only way to save my village." The sky darkens with Zeus's wrath. "Who dares steal my power?" The boy finds the lightning bolt, but struggles to control its power. "My intentions are not evil, mighty Zeus. I only wanted to save my village." Zeus appears through the clouds and takes back the lightning bolt. "I admire your courage, little mortal, but this power is too dangerous in your hands." Zeus gifts the boy a
Long before mortals took their first breath, the gods waged a war that tore the heavens apart. At the heart of their realm stood the celestial spire, a pillar of pure light that held the balance of creation. The gods swore to protect it, for without the spire, the realms would fall into chaos. But one among them, Morvath, the god of shadows, sought to unmake the spire. He believed that true power lay not in balance, but in dominion. Morvath's betrayal shattered the pantheon, dividing the gods into factions. On one side stood Elora, the goddess of light, leading those who sought to protect the spire. On the other stood Morvath, commanding the legions of shadow. The battle raged across the heavens, each strike of divine power reshaping reality. Elora's spear illuminated the skies, piercing through Morvath's shadowy tendrils. His obsidian blade consumed the stars themselves, casting entire realms into darkness. At the peak of their final clash, Morvath drove his blade into the spire, cracking it open. Elora, with her last ounce of strength, unleashed a surge of light that banished Morvath to the void, but the damage was done. The spire shattered, its fragments scattering across creation, seeding both order and chaos into every corner of existence. Now the question remains, can the fragments of the spire ever be united again, or is the balance forever lost? In the age before time, when gods and mortals shared the earth, the skies burned with a light that neither sun nor stars could claim. It was the Skyfire, a celestial flame wielded by the twin gods of balance, Salvar, the god of order, and Calith, the goddess of chaos. But harmony shattered when Calith sought to claim the Skyfire for herself, believing it would unleash her ultimate power. Salvar, bound by his duty, refused. The heavens trembled as their conflict began, each strike of their divine weapons sending shockwaves across the mortal realm. Calith's blade carved through the stars, and Salvar's shield split mountains with its defense. Mortals looked to the skies, their prayers swallowed by the storm of divine fury. Legends say their final clash created the Great Abyss, a tear in the world that no mortal dares to approach. But the question lingers, did either god truly win the battle, or is their war still raging in the heavens unseen? Before mortals walked the earth, the gods ruled over creation, shaping the realms as they pleased. Among them, Aetherion, the god of eternity, reigned supreme, binding all to his will with his staff of infinite light. But his dominion bred resentment, and one among his followers, the warrior Lycaros, dared to rise against him. Lycaros, once a loyal servant, had been gifted the Blade of Radiance, a weapon forged from Aetherion's own light. When he saw the suffering of mortals caught in the gods' eternal games, he turned the blade against his creator. The battle raged for 7 days and nights. Aetherion's staff split the heavens, tearing apart stars, while Lycaros' blade severed mountains and turned seas into storms. The mortal realm shook as their clash blurred the line between god and man. On the final day, Lycaros dealt a blow that shattered Aetherion's staff, breaking the god's hold over creation. But as the light of eternity scattered, a question emerged. Did Lycaros free the world, or had he unleashed a power beyond mortal comprehension?
Ares and Hades. In Greek mythology, Ares is the god of war. He is a fierce and cruel god and delights in war. Hades is the god of the underworld. He is a dark and mortal god. One day, a dispute arose between Ares and Hades. Ares did not like the way Hades ruled the underworld. Hades, on the other hand, did not like Ares' enjoyment of war and his disregard for people's deaths. The dispute eventually escalated into war. Ares attacked the underworld of Hades. Hades was ready to counter Ares' attack. Ares had the upper hand at the beginning of the war. He repelled Hades and besieged his castle, but Hades did not give up. He learned Ares' power and battle techniques. At the end of the war, Ares and Hades were of equal strength. They couldn't beat each other. Finally, Zeus wanted the war to stop. Zeus summoned Ares and Hades and convinced them to make a deal. Ares agreed to let Hades rule the underworld. Hades, on the other hand, accepted Ares' enjoyment of war.
In the realm of myth and legend, an epic battle unfolds. Gods and heroes clash in a spectacular display of power. Thunder rumbles as Zeus hurls lightning bolts. Ares, the god of war, charges into battle with his fearsome sword. Athena, wisdom incarnate, strategizes from above. Hercules wrestles with mythical beasts, his strength unmatched. The very earth trembles as these titans of legend wage their cosmic war, deciding the fate of mortals and immortals alike.
In the depths of the underworld, Hades, the god of the dead, prepared for an epic battle. The clash of swords and the roar of mythical creatures echoed through the dark caverns as Hades led his army of fearsome creatures against the forces of Olympus. The ground trembled as the Titans rose from their ancient slumber to join the fray, their immense power shaking the very foundations of the underworld. As the battle raged on, Hades unleashed his fury, casting dark spells and summoning the souls of the damned to fight alongside him. The sky above rumbled with thunder as Zeus, the king of the gods, descended from Mount Olympus, leading his own army of mighty warriors. The clash between the two powerful forces shook the very fabric of the underworld as the fate of the realms hung in the balance. In the end, Hades and his forces were vanquished, but not without leaving a lasting mark on the annals of history, forever remembered as the epic war of the underworld. In a time long ago, in a world filled with mythical creatures and powerful gods, there existed an epic story of love, betrayal, and adventure. The tale begins with a brave hero who embarks on a perilous journey to save the kingdom from the clutches of an evil sorcerer. Along the way, the hero encounters mystical beings, cunning tricksters, and formidable challenges that test their courage and wit. As the story unfolds, alliances are forged, secrets are revealed, and destinies are fulfilled in a dramatic climax that will resonate through the ages. This mythological epic story is a timeless testament to the enduring power of the human spirit and the enduring legacy of legendary heroes.
Imagine a world where ancient legends and myths come to life. You find yourself stepping into the pages of history, becoming part of a timeless tale. As you walk through this mystical realm, you encounter choices that could change your fate. Will you embrace the path of a hero or forge your own destiny? The power to shape this legend lies in your hands. What choice will you make?
All that tried shared the same fate, being turned into stone. Until the hero Perseus, son of Zeus, was tasked with retrieving her head. In order to complete the task, Perseus required aid from the gods. He was given a helmet from Hades that made him invisible to Medusa, a pair of winged sandals from Hermes allowing him to reach Medusa. Athena gave him a bronze shield able to reflect the gaze of Medusa, and lastly he was given a sword sharp enough to cut off the head of Medusa. With all of these divine gifts, Perseus was able to behead Medusa. At the time of her death, Medusa was pregnant with the offspring of Poseidon, and from her severed neck sprung the winged steed Pegasus.
The visitors of Hades. In ancient times, Hades, the god of the underworld, ruled over the dark and gloomy land of the dead. One day, strange guests came to Hades' underworld. The guests were Hestia's handmaidens, and they had a message from Hestia for Hades. The message was a thank you for Hades' good rule over the underworld and his kindness to the dead. Hades invited the guests to Mount Olympus. On Mount Olympus, Hestia welcomed the guests with a smile. Hestia gave the guests a crown made of fire to give to Hades as a thank you. Hades stayed with the guests for a while longer on Mount Olympus. He learned about their cultures and traditions by talking to them. The guests also learned more about Hades by talking to him. When it was time for the guests to leave, Hades said goodbye to them. He was sad to see them go, but he was very happy to have met them. In ancient times, there was a fierce battle between the mighty gods of Olympus and the fearsome Titans. The clash of the Titans shook the very foundations of the earth as thunderbolts and massive boulders were hurled across the skies. The heavens roared with the clash of swords, and the earth trembled with the stomping of colossal feet. It was a war of epic proportions, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. The gods fought with divine fury, while the Titans unleashed their primal power. The battle raged on for centuries, until finally the gods emerged victorious, casting the Titans into the darkest depths of the underworld. And so, the mythological tale of the great battle between gods and Titans became etched into the annals of history, a timeless saga of power, betrayal, and triumph.
The legend of the eternal flame. Long ago, when gods walked among mortals, a single flame burned atop Mount Arion, a flame said to grant unimaginable power to anyone brave enough to claim it. But the gods warned, only the pure of heart can touch it. All others will face eternal doom. For centuries, many tried and failed. Warriors, kings, and even sorcerers fell to its curse. Then came a young wanderer, a nameless figure with nothing to lose. As the storm raged and the ground trembled, he reached for the flame. The fire blazed brighter than ever before. Did he succeed or unleash something far worse?
The great Odin is called to battle against the dark forces that threaten the peace of Asgard. Thor brandishing his Mjolnir, Freya encouraging the warriors, and other gods united to defend Asgard. In the bloody conflict, Thor single-handedly felled the enemy giants, while Freya healed the wounds. Through unity and determination, the gods eventually triumphed. They were tired but proud. Odin's words echoed, "Unity, we defeat every enemy." Asgard was at peace. The Phoenix. In a faraway land, there once lived a beautiful bird called the Phoenix. The Phoenix was a creature of fire, and its feathers were as red as blood. It was said that the Phoenix was a symbol of rebirth and renewal. One day, the Phoenix saw a fire raging out of control. The fire was threatening to destroy a forest. The Phoenix knew that it had to do something to stop the fire. The Phoenix flew into the fire and began to sing. The song of the Phoenix was so beautiful that it calmed the fire. The fire began to shrink, and eventually it was extinguished. The forest was saved, and the animals of the forest were grateful to the Phoenix. The Phoenix flew away, continuing to bring hope and renewal to the world. The love between a mortal and a fairy. In a small village in the foothills of the Alps, there once lived a young woman named Anya. She was a kind and gentle soul, and she loved nothing more than spending her days in the forest, surrounded by the beauty of nature. One day, Anya was walking through the forest when she came across a strange sight. There, in the middle of a clearing, was a beautiful young man. He was tall and slender, with long, flowing hair and piercing blue eyes. He was dressed in a simple tunic, and he held a staff in his hand. Anya was immediately drawn to the man. He seemed to be from another world, and she couldn't take her eyes off of him. The man smiled at her, and she felt a jolt of electricity run through her body. The man introduced himself as Elrond, and he told Anya that he was a fairy. He explained that he had been banished from his home for breaking a law, and he was now wandering the earth looking for a place to belong. Anya and Elrond spent the day talking and getting to know each other. They talked about their lives, their dreams, and their hopes for the future. They quickly realized that they were in love. Anya and Elrond spent the next few weeks together, and their love only grew stronger. They would spend their days walking through the forest, talking and laughing. They would spend their nights gazing at the stars, talking about their dreams for the future. But their happiness was not to last. One day, Elrond received a message from his father, the king of the fairies. The king had forgiven Elrond, and he was allowed to return home. Anya was heartbroken. She didn't want to lose Elrond, but she knew that he had to go. She said goodbye to Elrond, and she watched as he disappeared into the forest. Anya never saw Elrond again, but she never forgot him. She kept a small piece of his clothing, and she would often look at it and think of him. She knew that their love was real, even though it was forbidden. The love of the star. In ancient times, the sky was dark. There was only the sun. One day, a girl named Selene was gazing at the night sky when she saw a star. The star shone down on her, lighting a fire in her heart. Selene fell in love with the star. She would gaze at it every night, singing her love to it. One night, Zeus heard Selene's song. He gave her a gift. Zeus placed the star in the sky and named it Moon. Selene was overjoyed by the light of the moon. Now, she was with her love at night as well. Selene and the moon danced together in the sky every night, expressing their love for each other.
Did you know that the concept of about is more than just a simple introduction? It's a powerful tool that can shape perceptions, build connections, and even change lives. From personal bios to company profiles, about sections are the first impression in our digital world. They're not just facts and figures, but stories waiting to be told. Whether it's a brand, a person, or an idea, a well-crafted about can inspire, engage, and create lasting impact. So next time you're writing an about, remember, you're not just sharing information, you're opening a door to endless possibilities.
In the age when stars whispered secrets to the earth, there existed a dark realm known as the Shadow's Wake, a place where nightmares were born and fears took shape. Legends spoke of a creature that roamed the wake, consuming shadows and growing ever more powerful. Many tried to defeat it, but none returned. Then came a lone traveler, armed with nothing but courage and an ancient sword. As the moon's light was swallowed by darkness, he ventured into the heart of the wake. Would he conquer the darkness, or would he become its next victim?
What would you do first if you had the power of the gods? Imagine stumbling upon an ancient temple, its walls etched with mystical symbols. As you explore, a shimmering portal opens before you, offering godlike abilities. The power to reshape mountains, control the weather, or even alter time itself is at your fingertips. But with great power comes great responsibility. Would you use it for personal gain or to benefit humanity? The choices you make could change the world forever. So what's your first move as a newly minted deity?
In the annals of mythology, epic battles have shaped the fate of gods and mortals alike. From Zeus's clash with the Titans to Thor's hammer-striking Jormungandr, these cosmic conflicts have captivated imaginations for millennia. Picture Odin leading the Einherjar against the forces of chaos at Ragnarok, or the fierce combat between Horus and Set for control of Egypt. These mythic struggles, etched in legend, continue to inspire and awe us, reminding us of the eternal dance between order and chaos, light and darkness.